Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 57 of the San Marino Challenge. Now, as you can see, today's game is going to be against Celtic in the Champions League group stage. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be at Celtic Park as well, which I think is one of the most... Well, it's a very, very iconic venue in the world of football, of course. Now, in terms of the league table, we're currently sitting in first place. As you can see, we haven't actually lost a game this season in Serie A. In 11 games, we've won 8, drawn 3, and we currently sit on 27 points. So things are going really well with the new stadium. It's become somewhat of a fortress for us, and honestly, we just look really good when we play at home. We've been quite dominant, that's for sure. Anyways, in terms of the games since the last episode. Of course, the previous episode was the debut of the new stadium, and it was a 4-0 victory over Empoli. As you can see, we've only drawn 2 games, and we've basically won the rest. We've drawn 3 games, 2 of which came in Serie A and 1 in the Champions League. Anyway, the next game was another 4... Well, we scored 4 goals in this game, but a 4-1 victory, again coming at home in the new stadium, over Fiorentina. Viviani with a brace within a minute, essentially. Then we had Renault and Longelo also on the score sheet there for us. We then went away to Spal. Excuse me. And we managed to get a 3-0 away victory, which is pretty impressive. Obviously, the away games are a lot tougher. So to come away with 3 goals and a clean sheet, I think it's a testament to the way we've sort of strengthened the squad and the quality of players that we now possess as well. Anyway, Novi on the score sheet along with a Formato penalty and Sabanda, surprisingly, on the score sheet there as well. Obviously, Sabanda is getting a bit more game time with Cizek now having left the club, so good chance for him to show us what he can do. We then had the first Champions League group stage game, which came against Ajax. The group does consist of Ajax, RB Leipzig, and of course Celtic. Nice little 3-0 victory here for Marto, Armini, and Renault on the score sheet. As you can see, Renault scored in the 90th minute, so a nice little late goal for us, which is a bit of a change. We then returned to Serie A action with a nice little 1-0 away victory over Parma, who are once again recently promoted back into Serie A. The goal came from Antonio in the 5th minute. We then pulled off a really surprising victory. I was kind of expecting to lose this game purely for the fact that Juventus were also, I think they were in first at this stage. Either we were first or they were first, and the other team was second. So I can't exactly remember, but yeah, we managed to beat them 2-1 at home. First real competitive game coming at our new stadium against one of the big boys. As you can see, Viviani and Antonio on the score sheet for us in this one. And a pretty vital 3 points, sort of separating us at the top of the league. We then played RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Really disappointing game, this one. And I say that because we were 3-1 up at one stage, and then it finished 3-3. So especially away from home, we really threw a massive 2 points away, which would have been pretty vital. Obviously, we're still on track to qualify from the group. But it was just, I don't know, it was just a bit of a... I don't know how to phrase it properly, but it was just a really weak second half, I think, is the best way to put it. As you can see, Longelo opened the scoring. They got one back 2 minutes later through Up. We then went 2-1 up through Antonio. And then, of course, we went 3-1 up through Kozic. And yeah, just before, on the stroke of half-time, we had 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Kozic gets sent off with a straight red card. And, of course, after that, second half performance with 10 men was pretty dreadful. They got their second goal in the 61st minute. And yeah, then Armini scores an own goal in the 85th minute to share the points. So Yeah, it was a real sort of Jekyll and Hyde performance. That's the proper phrase to use, I think. Jekyll and Hyde for sure. The next game, though, we went home against Cremonese. They were coming 19th at this stage. I decided to play a few different players, sort of rotating the team. Guys like Veta, Vicini, Nolascoane, Gilles, and Taylor. Taylor hasn't really played too much despite being on 100k per week for the next 5 years. He did actually score a goal in this game, albeit it was a penalty. But yeah, Kozic again on the score sheet, Renault, Taylor with a penalty, and then yeah, Feist coming off the bench, the loanee right back that I said was never going to play, comes up with a goal in the 87th minute. Literally the first 5 minutes of him playing, and he scored a goal, which I thought was just crazy. Anyway, the next game was a 2-0 away victory against Roma. Of course, we're really like pulling the wool over Roma at the moment, which I feel... I mean, they're a little bit weaker than they were at a starter game, so I think that's got a lot to do with it. But yeah, Viviani and Formato on the score sheet for us there. We then versed today's opponent, Celtic, in the Champions League, at home this time. And as you can see, we beat them 3-1, so a pretty, I would say it's a pretty dominant performance, although we opened the scoring through Armini. They got one back in the second half in the form of a Roldan goal, whoever that guy is. Antonio then got it to 2-1, and in the 92nd minute, Dalm managed to get a third goal for us, despite the 3 points already being pretty well wrapped up at that stage. We then managed a 2-0 victory over Atalanta, with Taylor getting a brace, penalty, and a goal in the 57th minute. So, yeah, a solid man of the match performance from him, which he hadn't really done before. He did get a good rating in that other game, despite, he only scored a penalty in that one. Again, scores another penalty here, but also looked really dangerous as well. And yeah, recently we've had two tough games, one against Napoli, which ended as a 1-1 draw at home. Renault opened the scoring for us, and then we conceded in the 62nd minute. And the other draw was an away draw to Inter Milan. As you can see, they opened the scoring this time, and then we got one back through Longelo in the 76th minute. And then Valsen, the Icelandic centre mid, got sent off with 2 yellow cards. So, yeah, I mean, that was right at the end of the game, so it didn't really matter too much, but obviously it sort of prevented us from trying to get the winning goal there. So the form's dropped off a little bit. 2 draws against 2... I mean, they're strong teams in Serie A, for sure. Really looking to get back to winning ways here today, despite, it being a pretty tough game away from home in the Champions League. Anyways, today's lineup is going to be like this. We're going to go with Ingvarsen in goals, Antonio at right back, Armini and Vicini will be our 2 centre-backs today. Unfortunately, Squizzato picked up a 3-week injury, so Vicini's been filling in. The reason why we probably drew those 2 games recently is due to him being in the centre of defence. He's a little bit suspect. He's still young, and he's not that great as well, to be honest. But, we're giving him game time. He's good enough. He's average, I would say. And he needs the game time for the national team, which I will go over at the end of this game, because we've got some exciting news in terms of the national team, which I'll, like I said, after this game, stay tuned, because I'll do a brief little overview of how things are going with the Euro qualifiers. Anyways, left back today will be Nesic. Right wing, we're going to go with Renault. Left wing, we're going to go with Taylor. So I think it might be a Champions League starting debut for Taylor as well. Maybe I played him in another game. I can't remember. But yeah, Novi will be the defensive midfielder today. And then we're going to go with Kozic and Viviani. And up front, we're going to go with Longelo. The 7-man bench today is going to be Marino, Veta, Gil, Sabanda, Formato, Feist, and Dalm. Looking for a good performance here today. Obviously, I want to get back to winning ways, like I mentioned earlier. And I think that we should be able to do that. I mean, Celtic, they're a really good team. They really are. But I think that we're a much better team. And we should be pretty much beating them without any real fuss. Obviously, the wins that we've been getting in the Champions League have helped the finances, because at the moment it looks like we're losing about 800k per month, which is weird, but also sort of understandable with all the wages I've had to pay. With all the new contracts I've had to give out to people, and the sort of increase in wages. Like, some of the players are on 3 times what they were. Viviani, for example, is on 90k per week. Who else? Novi's on 75k a week, which I think is... I'm definitely overpaying. And then we got Longelo on 77k. As we can see to go here. And it's Roldan again. I talked a bit of crap about him, and now he's scored a second goal against us as well. He looks like a real player. I thought he was a regen, so maybe I shouldn't be talking crap about players I don't really know about. Anyway, we do have the ball here. Nesic, nice little cross in, headed away. Novi does manage to steal it back. Viviani plays it out wide. Longelo gets in there. Beautiful little cross from Nesic there. Really good stuff. And maybe Longelo deserves his 77k per week. Probably not, because I think there are better options out there. Another thing worth noting is that Dortmund have actually put Chanpalat up for loan, available for loan anyway. But they put him up for loan just after the transfer window closed for us. Otherwise, I probably would have brought him back. And I mean, if we didn't have to pay any sort of monthly fee, I think that would have been a pretty shrewd piece of business, me selling him and then being able to bring him back, essentially 2 seasons later, I guess. But yeah, this is an interesting game. I mean, Roldan's in behind again, and he hits the post. That's really unlucky. And that was only their second shot, so I don't know. We're not looking too good at the moment, that's for sure. It's 1-1 going into the half. Obviously, we're the better team, but I mean, we don't look to be playing much better football, if I'm being honest. I mean, what was that? We literally just kicked off and then kicked it out. So, and RB Leipzig have just gone 1-0 up. And we're going to make some subs. Vetta's going to come on for Armini. Who else? Formato can come on for Taylor. He's been pretty dreadful. And Sabanda can come on for Viviani. Pretty early triple change there from me, but again, we're not playing too well, and a lot of those guys are the poorest performers on the pitch at the moment. Also worth noting that a lot of the players are really tired due to a lot of the... I mean, we've had a lot of fixtures, and I haven't really rotated the team too much. And a lot of the guys that I have brought in, Longelo, yes, come on. It's a brace for him. Nice little cross there from Formato as well. Exactly the reason why I brought him on. But yeah, as you can see, Kozic and Renault, both really, really fatigued. I haven't been rotating purely for the fact that we're unbeaten this season, and that's exactly why. And there we go, 2-1 victory over Celtic. And I'm really glad that we didn't draw there, because Roldan scoring and then doing that to me would have been pretty upsetting. Not gonna lie. Anyway, 2.4 mil for that win, which is really good for the finances. And there we go, guys. We have qualified for the first knockout round. Come from behind win as well. Longelo, man of the match. We'll praise him up. Keep him happy. And we'll go into the national team here. And I'll have a look at our schedule, because as you can see here, we have finally gotten our first win in charge of the San Marino national team. A 2-1 victory over Kazakhstan. Borat would be very upset. But yeah, as you can see, it was also played at our stadium. So our new stadium, well, it wasn't played at our stadium, but our new stadium is being used for national team games, which is really, really cool to see. I don't think it was used for any of these games because, obviously, well, for one, it wasn't built when a lot of these games were played. And I think these were already scheduled in to be played at that sort of stadium. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, I mean, this friendly game is going to be there. Unfortunately, that one's not. But all these friendly games are going to be played, well, most of them anyway, are going to be played at our new stadium in front of, potentially big crowds, which is, it's awesome to see. It really is. Anyway, only other results were a 0-0 draw against Kazakhstan, a 4-2 victory over Philippines in a friendly match. Not really too exciting there. Another impressive result is a 2-1 home loss against Scotland. And I want to show you this goal here from Giacobbe. I mean, when I was watching this game, I thought that we might be able to snatch a draw against Scotland, and they were actually coming first at the time. I'm not sure if they're still first, but I mean, this goal, it wasn't too bad, really. It was a nice little shot, just from outside the box. As you can see, Giacobbe, boom. It's a tidy little shot from this guy, and let me just say, let's have a look at him actually, because it'll sort of give you a bit of an idea as to what I'm working with. He has 5 long shots, and he manages to do that. Yeah, I mean, he does have 33 caps, and now he has 2 goals as well to his name. So, happy days. Anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys. Apart from that, we've been absolutely getting battered. Kosovo 3-0, Scotland 4-0. 1-0 to Bulgaria, which is a pretty good result as well. And then 3-1 to Croatia, we scored another goal. Terenzi, of course, our player, the centre mid, getting a goal against Croatia. We then lost 4-0 to Kosovo. And, last year as well. I know, that was the start of the games. So, yeah, I mean, first win. We're going to play a lot of friendly games now because we sort of had the opportunity to against a lot of teams that are a bit higher rankings than us. I just want to try and gain as many points because once we start improving the ranking, the national team ranking, a lot of the players that play or that have chosen to represent Italy over San Marino with the dual nationalities, they will actually, well, they'll be more inclined to consider us, or consider playing for us, of course, because it does have a lot to do with reputation. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, guys. Give the video a like if you enjoyed our big victory over Celtic, qualifying for the first knockout round of the Champions League. Apart from that, subscribe as well. Keep you up to date with all these videos coming out in the future. You have to hit the notification bell, otherwise the sub boxes don't really work. And of course, it gives you a notification when a video is uploaded. But yeah, apart from that, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.